We've seen the headlines in the past about norovirus outbreaks on board cruise ships, but the I-Team has discovered something alarming on board that's not often mentioned. Could cruise ship workers be putting you at risk? Searching through inspection reports for every cruise ship that comes in and out of U.S. ports, we've discovered it's not always passengers who are getting sick. It's also the people who serve you. They're huge floating resorts, ready to whisk passengers away from it all.
Just turn everything off and just relax.
But there's a flip side to that reality.
I started feeling nausea and the diarrhea came in.
Getting sick.
Absolutely horrible.
Joe Nasuti has been on more than 24 cruises.
And I just feel that it's really the best bargain.
But he didn't bargain for what happened on his last adventure.
8 pounds for 4 days, and literally you're going at both ends.
He claims he picked up the stomach bug at the tail end of his vacation on board the Carnival Freedom last year. Inspection reports for the last year on the Carnival Freedom out of Fort Lauderdale show a butcher got sick on board back in June and did not tell the onboard doctor until the next day. Plus, he continued working while having symptoms.
Once a guy's feeling sick, he's got to be, quarantined.
And a similar case for a waiter back in January. Reports show the worker was given a warning.
They should be fired.
Federal inspectors say all workers are required to report an illness right away, and food workers are supposed to be isolated away from all passengers on board for at least 2 days. But the I-Team discovered that's not always happening. Of 170 ships coming in and out of U.S. ports, 59 of those had workers that did not report the illness properly. A total of 130 workers, from waiters to bartenders to employees who wash the dishes. Inspection reports for the Norwegian Sun that operates out of the port of Tampa show an assistant cook felt sick but did not tell anyone for hours. And on board the Freedom of the Seas, which services Port Canaveral, a worker who cleans the ship had diarrhea and stomach cramps, but didn't report it until 12 hours later and continued cleaning. The Centers for Disease Control is in charge of inspecting cruise ships at least once a year while they're docked at a port.
It's clear that people who are working in the food area, if they have gastrointestinal illness symptoms, they should be reporting it right away to the medical center and absolutely should not be working.
The CDC can lower the company's inspection score because of it, but it's up to the cruise companies to discipline their workers. Carnival Cruise Lines would not go on camera, but in a statement, Carnival says the company maintains a zero-tolerance policy, and it has fired workers in the past for not reporting their illness. As for Joe, he says it won't stop him from cruising.
Are you kidding? No way. I'm definitely going to go on cruises. I love it.
But it will change how he cruises.
I'm carrying my own hand sanitizer with me this time.
Now, there have been a dozen outbreaks of the norovirus on board cruise ships so far this year, sickening more than 2,200 passengers and 200 crew members. Royal Caribbean had no comment, but I did receive a response from Norwegian Cruise Line tonight. It reads in part, quote, "The health and well-being of our guests and crew is of the utmost importance. When our crew members are ill, we have policies in place to ensure they receive the appropriate medical attention and take the appropriate amount of time off." And you can see their full response along with every inspection report for every cruise line through a database on our website. Just head over to abcactionnews.com/dining.